Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chef Guru from guruscooking.com with idli from Idli Rava. For the ingredients, we begin with the idli rava, or it's also called cream of rice, flattened rice or poha, split black gram, lentils or urad dal, salt, water, and finally fenugreek seeds. To prepare our batter, we'll take two separate bowls. This is our first bowl in which I've added 2 cups of idli rava. To this we'll add 5 cups of water. And we'll keep this aside at room temperature for 5 to 6 hours. Simultaneously, we'll take another bowl to which we'll be adding 1/4 cup of flattened rice or poha, followed by half a cup of urad dal, and 8 to 9 fenugreek seeds. What these fenugreek seeds would do is later on they would help your idli batter to ferment. To this we'll add 3 cups of water. We'll use our spatula and give it a nice mix. And at room temperature, keep it aside for 6 hours. We will now, after 6 hours, take both our bowls. From our first bowl, that is the idli rava bowl, we would discard any leftover water and throw it. But from the second bowl, that is our urad dal bowl, we would save the water and keep it aside. We would take both the mixtures of these two bowls now in a grinder and grind them pretty well. In case if you need any water, you can use the water that you have saved from the urad dal and keep adding the water gently until you get a consistency which you can see on the screen above. Once you get this consistency, you would save this consistency by adding 1 teaspoon of salt to this mixture, covering it and saving it for 8 hours by keeping it aside at room temperature. After 8 hours, it will ferment and you will get a nice creamy idli batter, which you will now use to add to these sanchas. But before you do that, you will have to grease them. So I'm using some vegetable oil to grease them with my brush. And once we have greased them, we'll add the idli batter to them. I'm using my ice cream scoop to do that. You can use your ladle or your spoon. Make sure that you do not add too much of the idli batter, because the other layers of sanchas that would come over this idli while cooking would fluff up and go and touch the top of your sanchas which are layered above this sancha. So just fill it enough, not too much, not too less. And now comes up the second layer of the sancha at the top, and we'll follow the same procedure. First grease it nicely with little bit of oil, and then continue with the same procedure of adding the idli batter with the ice cream scoops. And then on top of this comes another layer. We'll follow the same procedure and repeat. And once we are done with this, I'll put the knob at the top. You may or may not have a knob at the top. All sanchas come in different varieties, so it doesn't matter much. Once we have done this, I've kept a skillet in which I've added some boiling water, to which we'll be adding the sancha that we just prepared, like this. And on top of this, we'll add our lid and let this cook for around 10 to 12 minutes at a medium to high flame. While cooking, please do not open for checking again and again. After 10 odd minutes, you can take a toothpick and you may take the toothpick and dig it into one of your idlis and see if the toothpick comes out clean without any sticking or without any wet idli batter, then your idlis are supposed to be done, which is the toothpick test which I'm doing right now. My toothpick came out just clean. There was no residue of the idli batter, which means the idlis have now cooked after 12 minutes. So just put the lid once again on and let it cook for around a minute now. And after that, our idlis would be ready to be served hot. You can serve them with sambar or with chutney. There are different kinds of chutneys and sambars available on my website, which you can check. And here are those delicious, beautiful, soft, tender idlis ready to be served hot. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.